We were getting ready to put out our Samaje Perine video, and then the Bengals made yet another move. TJ Slaton getting signed by Cincinnati here this afternoon. Obviously not official yet at this point, but it'll be a 2-year, $15.1 million deal for Slaton. I tell you what, out of the three guys that Cincinnati has come to terms with today, I'm probably the most excited about this if you're talking about a guy like TJ Slaton. Spent the entirety of his career to this point with the Green Bay Packers, played the entirety of his rookie contract in Green Bay. And what I like about Slaton is he's a guy that has played a ton of football, played in every single game last year for Green Bay, and has done that really throughout the majority of his career as well. So he's a guy that's going to be available for Cincinnati. And this is another defensive tackle that the Bengals are bringing in. Really the emphasis for Cincinnati is that run defense. This is where Slaton is at his best, right? Not so much as a pass rush guy, but from a run defense perspective, TJ Slaton is really, really good. So now you got 4 of your 5 DT positions filled out at this point. We're talking about B.J. Hill now, coming back, 3-year deal with the Bengals. McKinley Jackson, Chris Jenkins Jr., and now TJ Slaton. You'll see the shift for Cincinnati probably turn to edge, maybe linebacker, different parts of that defensive side of the football, because at this point they have allocated a lot of resources to the interior of their defensive line. We'll see if they add one more DT, either through free agency or the draft, but Cincinnati hoping TJ Slaton could really provide a boost for their defense in 2025. Now make sure you guys stick around for our Samaje Perine video coming up right now. What's going on, Bengals fans? Stone Shields on hand for another edition of Bengals Breakdown, our second video of the day here on a Monday. Why are we back? Well, the Bengals have made yet another move. Samaje Perine. We have a reunion in Cincinnati. Perine signing a 2-year deal up to $3.8 million. Of course, a running back most recently spent his time with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is kind of interesting that the Bengals are opting to bring back Samaje Perine. It's my belief that they've been trying to hold on to Perine ever since he left, when he went to Denver a couple of seasons ago, and then even at the deadline when he ended up going to Kansas City. I think Cincinnati was in the market for trying to land Samaje Perine. Unable to do it the past couple of times, but this time around they get it done, and now Chase Brown has his third down counterpart in Samaje Perine. That, of course, is going to be the focus of our video here today, but when Bengals breaking news hits, we've got you covered here at the channel with a video. I was gone for a little bit into the weekend, missed a couple of things, but we are back. We are ready to go. And super excited that free agency is underway, and we will be here throughout the entirety of the offseason. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/BengalsTV. Very apparent when you're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals that their running back position, they have it figured out at this point with Chase Brown, right? They absolutely hit a home run when they took him a couple of years ago out of Illinois late in the draft. He is their guy for the future. But Cincinnati really needed to land a third down back, either through free agency or the draft. And I tell you what, Samaje Perine is an elite third down back. Is he going to do crazy stuff for you out there on the football field? No, but he can come in on third down. He can block. He can get those tough yards. And he is a threat in the pass-catching game as well. If you think about that AFC Championship game several years ago when Cincinnati won and went on to play in the Super Bowl against Los Angeles, one of the biggest plays of that game was when Burrow was able to find Samaje Perine on a play that was really well defended. Perine ends up taking that pass from Burrow all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. Guy that's a real cerebral player, right? He's getting up there in age. Another kind of reason I was a little bit surprised, similar to B.J. Hill earlier today, right? I believe Perine's in that 30-year-of-age range as well. So kind of the Bengals changing how they operate here a little bit, bringing in some older veteran-type guys, which I think certainly can be a good thing for your football team, considering all the youth that you currently have. More on this in a moment, but first, the pinned comment of today's video. Grade the signing of Samaje Perine for me in the comment section of today's show. A, B, C, D, or F. I want to know what you guys think. Pretty excited about this reunion for Samaje Perine, or you're kind of just like, it is what it is. Let me know in the comments of today's show. If that ad comes here on YouTube, totally fine. Take advantage of it. Down in the comments, let us know what you think. It'll be interesting to see what Cincinnati kind of does throughout the rest of the offseason at that running back position. It was my way of thinking. Obviously, yeah, you got Chase Brown. Then you got a lot of guys, we'll get into the depth chart here a little bit later, that you kind of need to address. Hey, what are we doing with guys like Khalil Herbert? What are we doing with guys like Zach Moss, who really was having a solid year before he suffered that neck injury in practice? Ultimately, Chase Brown ends up getting the entirety of the workload after that. And I think really bringing in Perine just takes a little bit off the shoulders of Chase Brown, right? It's a guy that looks like he is on the verge of becoming a superstar. I don't think that is hyperbolic whatsoever. Chase Brown is the real deal. And the worst thing you could do if you're the Cincinnati Bengals is kind of put him in harm's way, keep him out there on the football field throughout the entirety of a game, kind of like he was playing at the end of 2024. I'm not sure how long you can do that without him really taking some serious wear and tear on his body. Obviously did end up getting hurt at the end of the season as well, rolling his ankle in what really was an unfortunate play. But regardless, Cincinnati bringing back Samaje Perine at that running back spot. We got a bit of a reunion here in Cincinnati. Hopefully it goes better than the Von Bell reunion, right? Because I think a lot of us as a fan base kind of feel similarly to that, right? We've all been saying we want Samaje Perine back, right? At the deadline last year, we were all saying it. Well, guess what? Now Cincinnati has it. I think we all were hyped about Von Bell coming back as well. That didn't really work out. Hopefully Samaje Perine still has a lot to offer this Cincinnati Bengals football team in 2025. We'll continue with our show here in a moment, but first, a shout out to our friends over at Fanatics. I want to let you guys know Bengals sideline hats are out now. They are available right now, and you can go over and check those out courtesy of our friends over at Fanatics. I've got a few of these myself, really love them. That's chatsports.com/Bengals sideline. Obviously, it is the offseason. That doesn't mean you can't get some Cincinnati Bengals swag. Got some great deals over at Fanatics as well. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. One more time for you guys. That's chatsports.com/Bengals sideline. Do want to bring up this depth chart, as I mentioned a little bit earlier on in the video. Chase Brown, he's your guy. He's your RB1. There is no doubt at all about that. Now, Samaje Perine is going to filter in at that running back 2 spot, which leads me to believe kind of the addition of Samaje Perine is going to lead to Zach Moss getting cut. By the way, that neck injury, very, very serious. Not exactly sure if he's going to be ready to go once camp starts. Again, very serious injury that Moss suffered last season. And then behind that, you got Khalil Herbert, who, of course, you traded for at the deadline, 7th-round pick. Do you bring him back? Travion Williams has been here for, 6 years? He's probably not going to be here next year, right? It really was an incredible run for Travion Williams. And then Chris Evans, maybe you bring him back, on a minimum type of deal, right, considering he missed the entirety of the season with an injury. But regardless, now your running back room with Samaje Perine really starts to take shape. You've got your 1A. Or you got you 1, right, in Chase Brown, and now you got Samaje Perine to really complement him, bring some physicality to the table, bring that veteran presence, and really bring that pass protection for Joe Burrow on 3rd down. Another opportunity for you guys to get involved with our show here at Bengals Breakdown. What's your one-word reaction to this signing? Let me know in the comments of today's show. One word for me right now to the signing of Samaje Perine. I think the biggest thing right now as Bengal fans, and I think we all kind of have this mindset, right? You go back to earlier this morning with B.J. Hill. Yeah, I was like, I didn't really expect it. Don't hate it, right? He's got to get back to the form in which he once was playing at. You can't afford for him to go out there and play like he did again last year, because that's going to be a problem. I understand some frustration with the B.J. Hill, but the point I'm trying to make is this. We're all just kind of like, okay, we're ready for T. Higgins. We're ready for Jamar Chase, right? Everything beyond that is kind of like, I appreciate you doing stuff. I appreciate the effort. I appreciate you going out there and making some moves, bringing back a familiar face. Everybody loves Samaje Perine, but we're ready for T. Higgins and Jamar Chase to get their stuff done, or Trey Henderson into the mix as well. So still no news on that front, but Cincinnati makes a second move today here on day 1 of NFL free agency. A little reunion action with running back Samaje Perine.